Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke. If you are new here, this is a channel where I talk about house plants and do DIYs on my shorts and where my cat comes out exactly when I start talking. If you are new here and you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. That way you can be up to date on all my latest videos. If you are a recurring viewer, thank you so much for coming back and watching another video. Today, I am going to be doing house chores or houseplant chores. To be honest, I only do these about once a month. So I have only 64 houseplants, and I've shared this before and kind of my process of what I do, but I do not have as many plants anymore, or as a lot of collectors do, but there are monthly things that I go through and just kind of take care of. So otherwise, I just water my plants when needed, like every week or every other week, depending on the season. But I have to water some moss pools because I haven't done that. There's a few plants that I need to look at and see what's going on. And what else? I feel like I have a rearranging situation going on. So I think I've posted this already, but my Monstera constellation, I had already posted a video about chopping it back. And then I went ahead and took the cutting that I had and placed it back with the mother plant. And I've switched some plants around since, so I need to look at that and see if it's okay for these plants that I swapped out to stay where they are, or if they need moved as well. But just some random things about with my plants that I need to take care of. But maybe this is boring for some people. Maybe it's interesting. I don't know, but there's a cat's tail. So let's get started. So this is my shelf with all of my plants. And so these are like a majority of where my plants live. It gets really messy, I feel like, from water and watering and stuff. But I switched some things around. So I used to have what did I used to have here? I don't even remember what I had here. I had something. Was it, I think it was, no, I couldn't tell you what I had there, but I had a syngonium. I've recently replaced it, and I've put this philodendron mammii, which is doing extremely well. I love showing it because it's truly like the prettiest plant that I have in my collection, and it has a new growth point. This is a new leaf. This is a brand new leaf right here, and it's really large. So I recently potted it up into a moss pole, or put it on a moss pole, and it's done very well. It has adhered. Down here, I can't see my camera. It has adhered, and it has another aerial root coming out right there. So I have high hopes that this guy will get even larger. This actually grew to like this size by just being right here under this Barina grow light. So I have grow lights under all of my shelves here, and these are just the T5 Barina grow lights, so they're not anything like high calibrated or like a high grow light, but they do really work. So if you are interested in getting grow lights or just something to help supplement light, I would check those out. They are on Amazon, and I have a link for them down below. So anyways, but I have since moved my Ring of Fire here, who is doing really well. So it started to get burnt here on the edges, and so I had to move it back from the light. So now it isn't directly under the light. It's getting more like indirect light from it, but it's doing very well. It has a new growth point. It's constantly growing. Sorry, if I can get my camera skills are awesome. This cat, by the way. Nope, you missed it. Anyways, so it has a new growth point, and it's doing very well. I also repotted it into the new soil mix that I am using, and it's seemed to do okay with it. Hasn't caused any issues or bothered it any. And so yes, this is just my random collection here of things. Neon, the Shivriana. I have a random like reverted elbow cutting that I did an experiment on, and it's rooted really well. We can see that. Where is my camera? Sorry, here it is. So it's rooted really well, but my Stanleyana, which keeps pushing off these long runners, and I need to chop them, and a Pink Princess. Oops. My Pink Princess cuttings for my mother plant that's doing well. It's like the only one that's putting out appropriate leaves, I feel like. My other one is kind of weird. Like The other one's like down here in the corner, and the leaves are like really deformed and not so pretty. But anyways, then I have a string of hearts, variegated string of hearts, which is my favorite. It's so pretty. It's doing very well. So that doesn't need to be watered, but I have some other random plants down here, a lot of cuttings and things. This is also part of the reverted elbow. I chopped it back and it has a new growth point. Maybe you can see, maybe I should just turn the camera around, pause. Okay, so it has a new growth point coming out right there. So I'm interested to see what happens with this. It's been a really long time since I've cut it, I feel like, but camera focus. Focus. But it has, yeah, that little growth point, and it's got a white stripe. You can faintly see it. Hold on. Can faintly see it going through right there at the bottom. I can't, there you go. There it is. It's going right there through that node. So we'll see what happens with it, but it's been sitting back here. Oh, and this random, what is this cutting? What is this? Truly, I don't know what this is. I think that this is I think that that's another leaf cutting from that monstera. Oops, it fell out. Okay, and the cat's tail. The cat. This is where the cat always is. But I've got some other things. This Florida green that I chopped back is finally producing a new growth point right there. I have some other random things that I shared in a recent video. This is my Soderoy philodendron. I need to get back here and water this guy. And he's biting me. Okay, so I have moss pole for my Epiprimnum pothos album. I have a golden pothos that I moved in here from my office, and it's on a large moss pole. Then I have my mammii, and then I have my Queen Anthurium moss pole that I need to water. I've already watered. This guy also needed to be watered. This was the Thaumatophyllum, but I watered him recently, so he's good. But I need to water these guys. So, oh, it's locked. I also have some air plants that are hanging on here that I got from Florida that I just kind of stuck in here. Not all of them are from Florida, I guess. Some of these I got from Home Depot or Lowe's, but I just stuck them on here. See if they grow in, like right there. Okay, so that was my bedroom. It's done. Now I have the office in here. So this is where a lot of my other plants are. This is where I moved my Thai constellation. So I have repotted it. It is in the new soil mix that I'm trying out. So that's that. And then these random plants up here. I have my mayoi, I have my Paraiso verde, I have my Plowmani, and then some propagations, a Gloriosum, my Jose Bono, who I recently cut back. Let's flip the camera around because it was looking sad. So I didn't water it for a couple of days going on vacation this summer, and it really affected this guy. And so I just chopped it down. It actually was touching the top of this shelving unit right here. So it needed to go somewhere else anyways. And I just decided to chop it down because these leaves aren't doing awesome. You can see they're yellowing out because, again, these were the bottom leaves, and they got the brunt of the no watering. So also I cut it back because there really wasn't any variegation. So you might be able to see the slight variegation in this leaf right here, but really there is not anything on this guy. So I wanted to chop it back to see if it would promote it growing variegation like it's supposed to. But that is that guy. Otherwise, I don't know that any of these plants need to be watered. I feel like I've recently watered all of these guys. This Chorizo Verde is beautiful. So this is a Sansi grow light that's above us, but this Mayoi is doing really well. Can't remember if there's a cactus here or not, but I think that it could. The why I like clear pots because you can tell if there's moisture in them. You can see there's a little moisture there, but it's actually looking pretty perky and good, so I'll leave it be. But this guy, this Chorizo Verde, nope, he doesn't need watered. He's just like getting stuck. There you go, whatever. This Plowmani is doing really great. It grew out of its spot. So it used to sit right here where my Gloriosum is sitting, and it completely outgrew that spot. It's extremely tall now and is a beautiful plant. So I'm excited to see him grow. It's just taken off a lot. So he sits up there next to this random cacti. And then my ZZ plant, who I always forget about, and a Brazil. But really, there's not a lot of plants in here. I know I need to water that one. And then my Blitier, my philodendron, needs to be watered. It's kind of the same thing that my Jose Bono. If you don't water this guy, it gets really unhappy. Now, I have not had it drop leaves like the Jose Bono is doing, like yellowing, but I can just tell that it becomes unhappy, if that makes sense. But it needs to be watered. It's pretty dry. And then I have my peace lily, who needs to be watered and is blooming. I shared that on my shorts, and that was a surprise because it's never bloomed before. Well, I've never had a blooming plant before, but it's really pretty. I have this sitting right under my Sansi grow light, and these guys just like a lot of light. That's what I figured out about them. It was on my houseplant purge list, and it was because I couldn't figure out what it needed, but now I know it needs a lot of water and high light. And then I have another Gloriosum sitting back here, which I need to do something about. It's not the healthiest thing ever. And I also think I talked about it in my last vlog video like this. I think it's a tissue culture Gloriosum, because this one compared to the Gloriosum, which I know is a cutting off of like a mother plant Gloriosum, like a larger plant. Its leaf is also yelling because I forgot to water it. I'm just like struggling, but it has a new growth point right there. Anyways, so this is growing correctly. Like, these are crawlers, and so it's going along down the soil, doing well. But this guy is growing in a clump, and I really cannot tell where it's growing. So you can see here, like, it's growing out of the previous leaf versus like this is supposed to grow in its own little, see, it doesn't come out of the leaf. It's like another portion of it. I don't know how to explain it, but just an interesting like comparison. Like you can see these are both like pretty much the same, but you can see how defined and white this leaf is, and it's very velvety and like has divots versus this one is flat and it has this lime green. So yeah, I don't know if it's just maturity level, like this was taken from a mature Gloriosum versus this was taken, you know, maybe from a smaller cutting or whatever. Or again, I really think this is a tissue culture version, and that's why it looks so different. But I've had it, I just kind of stuck it literally right here. So it gets light from the grow light, but I'm not really sure about it, what to do. Then this is my Monstera esqueleto here, and it is growing all the way back. It's putting off a runner and all the way up that wall, which is funny to me. I just kind of let it go because I don't really mind it, but it just sits here. It looks really haggard because it got thrips and just did not recover well at all, and it's kind of weirding me out, but I just stuck it here. Again, yeah, it hasn't pushed off any new leaves. It's just that one runner that's going. And then these are all the plants that I still need to like do something with. This was an experiment. So this is a philodendron silver sword. I chopped it and I'm just growing it in the sphagnum moss, which if my camera would focus well enough, like it's growing, and this, yeah, it's doing fine. Oh, this guy needs to be watered. And then this is my recent pot up of my mother plant from my pink princess. Yeah, this is what's left of it. So those were my plant chores for today. That was what I had to do. I have some cuttings that I took from my Monstera stanleyana that I am going to try and do like bare root, or not bare root, the wet stick propagation method on them. I've done it before on this plant and it has done really like well with it. It's rooted really fast and produced leaves. So I'm going to do that again. There are several that I can take from it. And yeah, that was about it. So thank you for watching. If you have not again yet subscribed, go ahead and do so. That way you can see more videos from me, and we will see you next time.